first exercise on workout A, it's called front squat. So to begin with the front squat, if you are at home, you don't have a barbell, you just refuse to go to the gym, you can use a dumbbell or anything heavy, like a backpack filled with textbooks or log or whatever. So I'm just gonna carry a kettlebell to show you what the front squat looks like, and then I'll also demonstrate it with a straight bar, which is better later on once you get stronger, because this is not going to be challenging after a few times. So this is the front squat. I'm going to hold anything, a dumbbell, kettlebell, a medicine ball, on my chest, and then have it lean against my chest, and I'm going to lean back like this, have my chest up. This is a good cue to keep your lower back as straight as possible, or as neutral as possible. When you squat, I want you to take a pretty wide stance with your toe point out, and the width of the stance really depend on your flexibility and your structure of your leg. So for you to squat down, just make sure that when you're on the bottom, your weight is mostly distributed on your heel instead of on your toe. And if you can't go this low where your calf touches your thigh, you can just end right here, and that's fine, as long as it doesn't put you on your toe. Okay? As soon as you squat down and you're still getting on your toe, stop. That's as low as I want you to go. But if you can, then just keep going down. How you'll adjust your stance is just having, there's two things you can play with. Either have your toe point out more or point narrow. If you're very flexible with your ankle, you can point narrow. If you're not very flexible, then have your toe point out. And also play with the distance of how far they are apart. Okay. So for me, it would be right here. If someone's really tight in their hamstring and their calf and their ankle joint, and they may only go down as low as this low. And if they go to go any more down, they usually will have to lean forward, which put the weight way in front of the center of the body, which put their weight on their toe, okay, which is very stressful to the knee. So on a front squat, this is the side view. Hold on to something heavy. Adjust my stance. After a couple reps, you should be able to tell if this is the optimal stance for you. Okay, right here as well. And the whole time, a good cue to tell yourself is keeping your chest up. Just look ahead instead of looking like this. Okay, because you're running the risk of rounding your back when you come up from the bottom of the squat. Okay, so this is the proper form. So that's the front squat with kettlebell. Here's a straight bar. Practice this at a gym. What you can do is make sure the bar is resting on your deltoid. Okay, your shoulder. Make sure you're lined up right here too. And a good exercise to begin learning this movement is just keep your arms straight so that your upper arms parallel to the ground. And if it's parallel to the ground, then the bar won't roll forward as I squat down, because if your hamstring is very tight, ankle is very tight, you will do this right here. I can't get any lower. Boom. Okay. So then the job is to keep your elbow higher and higher as you squat down, so that the bar doesn't roll down. Okay, this is a good exercise. And if you're very flexible, you should be able to go all the way down with the bar touching your throat. That's how close the bar should be with aligned with the center of the body, which is where your shoelace is. After you can do this a few times, you got the right stance. The bar isn't rolling forward. If it is, then you stop at that low. Okay, if this is as much flexibility that you have, and then if you go any lower, you're gonna end up on your toe, and then the bar will roll forward. So then, that's as low as I want you to go. So to pull in a front squat, you take this grip right here, where the finger is on the bar, just to stop it from rolling down, and make sure if your upper arm's parallel to the ground, that means your elbow always point forward instead of pointing to the ground, like this. Okay, so have your elbow up. So when you're doing a front squat, here are the major cues to tell yourself. Elbow's always pointing forward. Your chest is always up. If you have to look down a little bit, your head doesn't have to look up. But if you have to look down a little bit, do not look at the ground. Look at the point 5 yards in front of you. Find the right stance, and just sit back, just like that. Okay. And here's the side view right here. And that's how you breathe as well. When you're doing any explosive, heavy movements, you will breathe only when you're not moving. So I'll demonstrate again. Take a deep breath. and I'll exhale when I'm done with the movement. And that is the front squat. And here's another grip that you can take if your wrist allows you to do so. Right here, just like that. So the bar is in my finger, not in my hand, unless your wrist is very flexible, where you can have the bar resting on your deltoid, like I said before, with the elbow pointing forward. Most people won't have this range of motion for their wrist. So let the bar slide down onto your finger. Okay, my pinky's up, my ring finger's up. I'm using just 2 fingers holding the barbell backward. So step back, same thing. This grip's train your wrist to be more flexible, and this eventually, in the future, if you could ever perform a clean, it will prepare you to do a squat as well. Alright, so that's the front squat, and we got 2 more exercises.